Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheldon Zeiger. I'm an estate planning attorney in Chicago. I wrote a book called The Iron Side Personal Finance. This morning, I wanted to talk about something that no one ever wants to talk about. The problem is, sooner or later, someone in your family or a friend, someone you care about, who dies. And it's not bad enough that someone has died. You are now going to be required to go to a funeral. And for most people, this is something that's uncomfortable, something that's unpleasant, but they get through it, they're able to get to it. But for people like myself who finds funerals very uncomfortable, just very cringeworthy, and seeing that this concerns me because being a estate planning attorney, I always wondered what this was about, why I was so uncomfortable. And I think part of it has to do with being empathetic. It's if you see people around you care about who are suffering and are mourning, and just makes you very uncomfortable. So what I wanted to do today was basically take you through, teach some funeral etiquette, if you will. And what I'm really talking about here is discussing some of the best methods of comforting someone who is grieving, and the always uncomfortable situation where you don't know what to say to the person who is bereaved. But as always, there is a solution to this problem. In order to graduate from funeral finishing school, you need to know three things, and just three things. Number one is to speak in silence. After the initial awkward, "I'm so sorry for your loss," ironically, silence is often the best, most powerful language of all. Perhaps hug, a hand, a touch says more than 1,000. Comforters, I think, should say nothing unless the mourner themselves start talking or wanting to talk. Let the mourner be the lead. Do not fear silence. An embrace, a sincere look, sharing tears say more than any words could possibly say. So number two, listen with your heart. For most people, everything is not all right. This is probably the worst day of their lives. A loved one has died, and the grief work must begin. One of the most important gifts you can give a bereaved mourner is complete and non-judgmental acceptance of a person's feelings, thoughts, and behavior. Often people who are grieving in this way often repeat their stories over. They just need a sympathetic ear. So listen with your heart. No matter how much you want to reassure the mourner that everything's going to be all right, everything's going to get better, you can't take away the pain, except that you can't fix it. It's the mourner who has to do the grief work. So number two, listen with your heart. Number three, be present. There is one fundamental message that cuts across all religions regarding death rites, is that the mourner is not alone and that they are in a community. For the mourner, loneliness is the biggest problem. And it's not just on the day of the funeral. It's the days and weeks and months after. And just being present, inviting them for a walk, a weekend. Weekends are particularly difficult. Holidays are particularly difficult. Without a word, your presence says everything you need. The bereaved knows everything they need to know. There's a caveat here with this aspect as far as being a community, is many bereaved are depressed. And one manifestation of depression is the need to isolate. And part of the grief requires, I think, that isolation. So let the mourner sort of control the context. Don't be, if the mourner says, no, I don't want to do this, or I don't want this to do this activity with you, don't take that personally. So here we have it. Speak in silence, listen with your heart, and be present. And I think that's how I navigate funerals. I hope that this was helpful in some way to some people. You have a wonderful day.